picking up is Dolly Alderton's Good Material. I have heard so much about this. I first came across Dolly Alderton when someone recommended her book, Everything I Know About Love, and let me just tell you, I very rarely rate a book 5 stars. Like, I'm talking, I think I've only ever rated one fiction book 5 stars, and guess which one that was? Everything I Know About Love. So I have high hopes for this book, which is a good thing, but I'm also nervous because I know that the other book of hers was a memoir, so it was a bit more about her life rather than a fiction book, and this is pure fiction. So I am worried going in that I have really high hopes that won't meet up to my expectations. But this is the synopsis of the book. Every relationship has one beginning. This one has 2 endings. Andy loves Jen. Jen loves Andy. And he can't work... Andy loves Jen. Jen loved Andy. Almost skipped to that part. And he can't work out why she stopped. Now he is 1, without a home. 2, waiting for his stand-up career to take off. 3, wondering why everyone else around him seems to have grown up while he wasn't looking. Set adrift on the sea of heartbreak at a time when everything he thought he knew about women and flat sharing and his friendships has transformed beyond recognition, Andy clings to the idea of solving the puzzle of their broken relationship. Because if he can find the answer to that, then maybe Jen can find her way back to him. Andy still has a lot to learn, not least his ex-girlfriend's side of the story. Interesting. Okay, I'm excited. I'll keep you updated. Okay, I'm on page 56 at the moment, so like not very far through. Initial thoughts are, it's really interesting that Dolly Alderton, who's a female, is writing from a male perspective. That might change, I don't know. But the fact that Andy is a guy, you can tell that it's written by a girl just because some of the stuff that he does is just not what you'd think a guy would do, which I'm kind of liking because I think every girl kind of hopes that guys would act in this way. I think one other remark would be that the fact that Andy is 35, and I think Jen might be the same age, is a bit depressing for me because I feel like I can sympathise with their kind of what they're going through. They've just broken up. They now have to figure out life as a single person. And yet, at the same time, while they're navigating that change, all of their friends have kids and have schedules and nap times, and it's just really hard to be a single person when all of your friends are married and with kids. I'm really enjoying the relationship that Andy has with Arvy and Jackson. Not Jackson, that's the kid. Arvy and Jane, that's it. Arvy and Jane. And I feel like that will be good for him. It's interesting, I haven't heard much about Jen, so I don't know if that changes or if the whole perspective is about Andy. But anyway, we'll keep on reading. Those are my initial thoughts. Okay, literally the next page says exactly what I was saying. Page 56, Andy says, something's changed since I was last single. When me and my last ex broke up a mere handful of years ago, I remember it releasing a burst of energy in the group. Everyone was excited for me. There was a sense that I'd returned to the club, that my membership was going to be renewed, but I don't feel that now. I feel like my singleness may end up being a bit of an inconvenience for everyone. Then I realise half of them were single 4.5 years ago. None of them are now. That just like gets right in the feels. Oh. Okay, something is really grating me about this being written by a female because I just don't get it when Andy struggles to book a night out with the guys and Jen gets 5 of her friends away for a weekend. I just think that is so unbelievable and unrealistic. Like, I think in a human sense, guys are always the one who get the time away and who can make a night happen really easily. And it's the mums that usually can't get away and have to be with their kids. And like a whole weekend, I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know. That's just one thing that I'm annoyed by. I'm like, this isn't believable to me, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm on page 164. My current thoughts are question mark around Daisy. I reckon, so she's just appeared in the story. They've just bumped into each other and had like an awkward kind of conversation after this audition that he does. But I have a feeling she's going to come up again. I'm basically just waiting for this other person, because I know in the prologue it talked about that there were 2 relationships or 2 lovers or something. So I'm wondering whether Daisy will come back. I just need to jump in after watching my predictions past Annalise. Daisy did not appear again. I was even like, when I was watching the videos, I was like, who even was Daisy? And then I was like, oh yeah, it was Andy's ex-girlfriend from ages ago. She doesn't appear again. Tash, the Instagram girl, like there are so many random bits and pieces of the story, aka the messages with Tash, aka living in a boat, that I'm like, why did she feel the need to put those in? Maybe they'll come back up soon. And as well, the Tash thing makes so much sense when you get to the end. Oh, the fact that, anyway, you'll get my reaction in a minute to finding that out at the very end. I was shook. So it all makes sense. So far, I'm flying through it. It's really easy to read. It's really easy to follow. I find Andy quite a hard character in terms of just his, I guess he's in the midst of sadness the entire time. And obviously when you're going through a breakup, that's kind of normal. But I feel like there's not really a progression at this point anyway. So it'll be interesting. I'm really interested to see what happens with Daisy and if Tash comes back. That was really weird. So yes, I don't know. But so far, so good. I reckon at this stage, I'd probably rate it like a 3 out of 5. So solid, but not the wildest and best thing I've ever read. Sorry I look and sound disgusting. I am sick and it's been a while since I've picked this book up. But I'm at the part at the moment on page 192 where Andy and Sophie meet. Sophie seems like a real unusual character and I am not for them. Like, I sense where this is going is that they'll end up together, but they're just not made for each other. Like, they're just so opposite, which maybe that's why they'll end up together. But at the moment, I'm not loving this match, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so Sophie and Andy just ended, which was really random. Like, I feel like that was just out of nowhere. And then, of course, all of a sudden, Andy and Jen meet at Jackson's little 4-year-old's birthday party and they get together and he goes back to her house and they sleep together. And it just, I don't know, like, I don't hate the book, but I don't love it. I'm just kind of like, what's the point of all of this? And all the thing that happened with Andy and with Sophie and then with Jen and with Seb, like, it happened so quickly and went. And now, like, we're back to the start. So I'm just very confused at the moment. But okay, I've just gotten to the part where Andy has written these letters, one to John and one to, why all the J's, seriously? One to John, one to Jen. And flip, like, the letters are so beautiful, but it's just so unrealistic because no one is going to write the way that it's been written. And particularly from a guy's perspective, I'm literally reading it going, this man is perfect because he's not real, Annalise, because he's not real. So, I don't know whether to love it or hate it because it's so beautifully written and so, like, such a letter that you would want to receive from your significant other or from your friend. And yet I'm like, it's just so unrealistic. So I don't know how to feel. Okay, I had to just pick up the phone sorry, my mouth literally, I was reading and it was like, and then I was just like, grab the phone. Okay, I don't know why, I'm so thick. Like, I feel like this is obvious now that I'm reading it, but Jen was the one who catfished Andy on Instagram and then just randomly didn't message back. That is wild. Yeah, all of this is an explanation and not an excuse for why I chose to catfish Andy in that first month after we ended. Okay, I feel like I'm liking the back half of the book better, written from a woman's perspective. I feel like the book should have just been written from Jen's perspective and it would have been a whole lot better. I do hate the kind of, woo, we're choosing to be single and that's the hard road, but like empowerment. I just think like, yeah, it's true that people can be single and be fulfilled and have a happy life, but I don't know, it seems too forced. Like, I feel like in a human sense, there is more grief than what she's portraying. But anyway, I thought I would just share my initial reaction. I'm almost done. I'm like a few pages left, so I will update you soon. All right, I have finished Good Material. I really enjoyed the last part of the book. I think that the perspective of Jen was really helpful. And I think it did tie in a nice neat bow at the very end where things kind of came together and you see the reason that things have happened the way that they did and things like that. I'm really conflicted because I probably would have left rating this book maybe a 3. I probably would rate it a 3 still. I think it was fine. It was an easy read. It was enjoyable, but at the same time, it was nothing riveting. There was nothing that happened that was really mind-blowing. The thing that conflicts me is that I was reading some book reviews or listening to a podcast with some book reviews, and people were raving about this book to the point where they were, Shameless Book Club, were even crying about how profound and how impactful it was. And I just did not find that. Yeah, the thing at the end where Jen and Andy didn't get together because Jen was like, actually I want to be single. Fair enough, you'd rather be single than be with the wrong person. But I don't know, I think human emotions are messier than that. I don't think that I would expect someone to just go, well, it was what it was, but woohoo, women empowerment, I'm going to be single and it's going to be the best. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's being too harsh. I just think a lot of the stuff in here was really beautifully written, and I just don't think it was truly believable, which again, all these reviews said that the reason that they loved it is because it was so believable. So maybe I just missed something, but I think my final rating for Good Material would be 3 out of 5 star. And I have Ghosts that I have yet to read, so maybe this will be a 4. Maybe it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Who knows?